Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can set up the highly available MongoDB cluster. So let's begin. What I've done, guys, I've created a repo for you guys, and in that particular repo, we are going to set up first of all MongoDB in a single machine, and we are going to build our concept, and then we are going to later deploy that particular MongoDB cluster in separate EC2 machine with the help of Docker. So let's begin. And at the end, what we are going to do, we are going to use the Kubernetes kind cluster in that we are going to deploy that. So first of all, we are going to build our concept, how we can set up that particular MongoDB the replica set. So let's begin. So guys, in this particular local machine, so guys, in this particular machine, what we're going to do, we are going to first of all connect to this particular machine, and we need to have Docker install on this particular machine, which I have already done that to save the time, right? So I'm going to connect to this particular machine, and what I'm gonna do, let me show you. So I'm going to navigate to this depot. Let bring this guy here. So what we're going to do, first of all, we are going to create a network. We are going to give the name network POC, and we are going to make this network attachable. So first of all, if I do sudo hyphen I, right, and if I do docker ps, you see Docker is already installed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install, set up this network. If I do that docker network ls, so you see, we have built our custom, set up our custom network, and this is the POC network, right? So this part is done. What we are going to do, as I mentioned, already mentioned above, when you enable replication and security, MongoDB expects you to provide a shared key that each member uses to authenticate to other members in the replica set. This key file must be same for all members. So as we are using multiple Mongo instances in the same zero machines, what we are going to do, I'm going to simply copy this command and paste it here. So what it does, it is going to, I mean, create a first of all Mongo dash key file, and it is going to simply update the, permissions of that particular file, and then it is going to change the ownership of that particular file to 999 and the group as well to 999, right? So if I do ls7ldhr, and let me give a little space here. So if you see this Mongo file ownership and group now has been changed, and it is only readable to that particular user. So anyway, now we are going to navigate to the other part. We simply need to copy this particular command, and I'm going to show you what it does. We are going to use that particular network which we have already created, right? And we are going to set up our first node. This key file is going to be mounted inside the Mongo etc Mongo file, and then we are going to create named volumes, right? And this is the named volumes, which means our data is going to be persisted even the container is not running. So this persistency means that our data is going to be living on the host disk, so it will be saved. I mean, it is not living in the container, and it is mounted to this section. So etc Mongo is going to be the, configuration, right? And Mongo data, Mongo node 1 dash data is going to be the data of the DB, right? Then we are going to use these environment variables, Mongo init DB root username and Mongo init DB root password, right? And we are going to use this version. You want to choose any version you want. You need to navigate to the Docker Hub and navigate to the text and select your version, right? So, and this is the replica set name, and key file is what we have already defined. So what I need to do, I'm going to simply from here copy this particular command and paste it here. That's it, right? So as we what we're doing, guys, here we are setting up our Mongo replica set, means the Mongo cluster. Then we are going to make this cluster highly available. So this is currently in the single machine. We are learning that part, and now I'm going to set up our second instance of the container in the same EC2 machine, right? So you see, it is going to use that same particular file, and this is the second one, and I'm going to show you, then we are going to enable the, replication as well. So if I do docker ps -a, you see three of the instances of Mongo are available. So initiate the replica set. What I need to do, first of all, to make it work, I'm going to use this particular command, and I can either exec or use this particular command, right? So let's do that. So you see, I'm able to connect with this particular MongoDB, and with the username and password is the secret, right? So you can either, for logging, either you can docker do exec into that particular container and use this particular command. So we already done that. Now what I'm going to do, initiate the replica set. So I need to simply copy this guy and paste it here, right? So let's do that. You see, okay is one, which means that everything seems to be okay, and we are going to see the status of the replica set. If I click this guy, paste it here, it will show all the detail with regard to the replica set. So this is how, guys, we can set up the replica set in a single machine. Now we want to set up the replica set or MongoDB cluster in a multiple EC2 machine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to close this guy, right? Now we are going to move to the other part, AWS EC2 setup. And this is something extra I've added. If you want to import the collection, you need to git clone, and this is the official stuff provided by MongoDB. I'm not going to go all these details. If you want to use the Mongo Express, which is the UI to manage the database, you can use that. I'm not going to cover this. If you want to remove the volumes, you can use these particular commands, right? To make this video short, what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to the setting up of cluster. So one thing I need to tell you before that, in the latest version, Mongo shell is the command, and the old version, I'm using 4.4, so Mongo will work for us regarding the connectivity, right? So let's begin to the AWS section, right? So I've removed the shell. What I'm going to do, I'm going to um, show you first of all this part. So if I navigate to the security section, you see this is a role connected, and this role has two permissions. Permission with regard to the SSM, which gives the connectivity, and also permission I've added with regard to the hosted zones. So we what I've done, I've created to make the things, or to make the time saving part. I've done, like, I've created a private hosted zone. I'm going to tell you that. So this is the SSM core policy in order to connect with this machine. And if I click this guy, and I'm going to show you the JSON part. So this is the policy. I've already added it here as well. So let me show you that. This is where you need to provide the hosted zone ID. So this is the policy, right, in order to connect. So this is what I've done. I've provided the hosted zone ID. If I navigate to the, hosted zone, right? So currently, and Route 53, you will see public and private hosted zone. So this is the private hosted zone. Sorry, I've created, public hosted zone. So um, it should be private hosted zone. So let me do that. So, okay, let me first of all delete this, right? So there is no need to create a public hosted zone. I just want to show you guys. Okay, it has the entries, right? Let me get rid of these entries to remove this. And because I cannot change the state, so let me simply remove these particular entries, right? And delete the records. So once all these records are deleted, and now I'm gonna show you that how you can create the private hosted zone. So guys, I'm going to get rid of this guy. Okay, navigate to the hosted zone and simply click this guy, try to delete it, and it should delete now because we have deleted all the entries, right? So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one hosted zone, and sorry, private hosted zone. So let me do that, create a hosted zone, right? Click this guy, and I'm going to say Cloud Geeks, excuse me, .mongo. It should be a private hosted zone, and I'm going to select the region US East 1, excuse me. US East 1, and this is my default VPC, right? Excuse me. So I'm going to create this, right? So why we are doing it, I'm going to show you shortly. So guys, this is our private hosted zone created. I'm going to create 3 records here, and the records are gonna be like these are the records. So policy we have already attached. I already shown you. So attach, I mean records are gonna be this one. So simply copy this first part here, right? Just like you make entry for your, I mean DNS. So what it does, it is going to do the DNS resolution. So I'm going to navigate here. I'm going to paste it, right? And simply, if I navigate to this area and I'm going to scroll up, navigate to the details, I'm going to copy the private IP address of this machine. I'm going to paste it here. So, and create a first record, right? So then we are going to create a second record. Simply copy this guy, MongoDB node 2, copy this guy, right? And paste it here. Create a record and I'm going to paste it, navigate to this section, right? Okay, create a record, this one, right? And I'm going to paste it here, right? So let's do that. And similarly, we are going to do the similar stuff for the third machine, right? And we need to put the IP address in the DNS. So create a record and paste it here and put the IP address of this particular machine, which is the third machine. So let's do that, and then what we are going to do, we are going to double check that 3 records has been added. So if I navigate to this section, you see Mongo Node 1, Mongo Node 2, Cloud Geeks.mongo, and these are the IP addresses of those particular machine, right? So okay, this part is done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a shell into this particular machine, right? And let me do that. Try to refresh it. And what we need to do, we need to set up that particular stuff. So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to locally connect to my local container. So as you know guys, I use containers in my Windows machine. So Docker PS, this is the sandbox kind container I'm using it. I'm in this guy, it is already mounted, right? This is the repo. So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a file here. So let me create a file. So this particular file we are going to use on all machines, right? So if you navigate to this area, let me scroll up, scroll up. So I mentioned the detail in case of multiple EC2 machine, create a file locally and copy that particular file to all nodes. So what you need to do, copy this particular guy and navigate to your machine. So let me show you this particular part. Currently, this is mounted here and it will be available in this directory. So if I open this in VS Code, currently we don't have any stuff available. So you see this is the MongoDB, and if I simply use this particular command, so what it does, if I do ls here, you see this file is available and it should be available here. Now I'm going to click this guy and I'm going to simply copy this particular file and I'm going to simply paste it here. So I'm going to call this Mongo file. So if I navigate to this section, like this one, yeah. So I'm going to say nano Mongo dash file, right? So this should be the name. So I just want to double check here. Mongo key file. Okay, Mongo key file. So Mongo dash key file. You can give any name, just I'm giving this name. It is not necessary. You can give this control S and X, save it. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to now simply use this particular second commands to change the permission of these key files, and I'm going to copy this guy and I'm going to paste here. This is our first EC2 machine. You can see the private IP. What it does, it is going to download that particular Mongo and run it. And then I'm going to do navigate to the second machine. So this is the first machine, and I'm going to click this guy, click this one, refresh it in order to connect because I've attached the policy and it should be working with SSM. So I mean, simply click this guy and we are going to take a shell. So if I do Docker PS, it should be running the first container. right? Node is up and running. And if one thing, if you see or if you notice in this particular command, the network is host. Previously, we created a local separate network. Now we are using the host network, and this area I've added regarding the host name is going to be exactly the same of which we have added in the private hosted zone, right? So this is the difference, and we are going to do similar stuff for the second node. I'm going to create a nano mongo dash key file, right? So use a particular file. I'm going to simply paste it. Oops, and I just don't wanna save it. I should create it again, and the contents are gonna be must be same. Yeah, must be same. Control S and X. And now what you need to do, simply copy the contents from here, and this is the one which we are working on. Paste it here, right? So it is gonna pull that, and you see, I guess by mistake I put node one. I just wanna make sure I should put this guy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do double check here, or I'm going to do simply do, if I do docker ps, I'm going to do docker remove. Okay, docker remove. Okay, half an f dollar docker ps aq. Oops, I just wanna get rid of this guy. Also, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to also get rid of the volumes, right? So let me do that as well. So extra volumes has been cleaned up, and also I just want to remove, double check that I've removed everything here. So this is the node 2. I just want to remove, by mistake I've done that, so nothing is running. So I have double checked it. Now what we are going to do, we are going to make sure that we are going to copy this guy, and let's try to paste it here, and let's see what happened. If everything goes well, it should be running. So if I do ls here, and yep, okay, it is running. Okay, no, it has some issues. So okay, the issue seems to be regarding the I know, if I do docker ps-a, I forget to change the permissions. Yeah, to I know that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this Mongo dash node to right. So this part I forget. I mean, I've created the files, I think so, and I forget to change the permissions. So if I do ls7ltrh, okay, so seems to be okay. Let's try to run it again. It should work now. If I do docker ps, I run a, and it seems to be working. Yep. You just need to make sure regarding the permission. Now we are looking to navigate to our third node for the high availability. I'm going to refresh it. So guys, we are using the same stuff in the container with the persistent volume, and we are going to use the private hosted zone for DNS resolution. So these machines are going to find each other with their name, right? So this part is almost finished, right? So if I do docker ps, nothing here. Okay, I guess even not docker installed. So okay, let's try to first of all create this particular file, and we need to make sure we create a file with this name, Mongo key file, and let's try to not to create a mistake this time. So nano, this is the file name, right? And I'm going to copy the contents, and these are the contents we needed because we need the same contents, right? And we need to just make sure we should provide the exact permission which are required, right? So let's do that. If I navigate to the section now, let's try to paste this, and you see Docker is not there. So I'm going to do, previously I've set up with the script, so I'm going to do apt update -y and apt install -y Docker, right? So just want to do it quickly. I should type docker.io. Let's try to see if it is installed, right? Okay, mctl start docker. I should type docker.io, which I forget. So let's do that. And it is now installing it, right? And then I'm going to simply start the service and enable it. So check the status always, make sure that it is running. So do the status and make sure you enable it as well, because after reboot it should be running, right? So let's do that. So guys, what we're going to do now, simply paste our command. This is the command we need to paste here, right? Simply paste it here. So regarding the permission, everything seems to be okay. And let's see what happened. We need to set up the replica set on multiple HA nodes. So it seems to be okay, up and running. So let's try to navigate to node 1, and I'm going to excuse me, log in into this particular node. This time we are going to use different method. So I'm going to do docker exec interactive shell into mongo dash node 1, take a bash shell, and I'm going to do connectivity, right? I'm now connected. Let's try to make sure that we can initiate the replica set. So simply copy this command from here, and let's see if we are able to connect. That's good. That's cool. We are able to do connected. Let's see the status of the replica set. So this is how, guys, we achieve the highly available replica set in EC2 with, you see, multiple nodes, EC2 machines with persistent data, and we are using containers. So, and we are storing that particular data on the disk, right? So now your concepts are going to be clear. So these two steps I've already shown you, guys, right? So now we are navigating to the last part of our video. So I'm going to remove all the stuff that we have already covered. So in last, we are going to set up the excuse me, kind cluster here. So okay, for that we need to install the kind. So you don't have to do anything. You need to copy this script. Kind cluster. This is the Ubuntu machine. Let me show you. All these machines are Ubuntu 22 LTS host name CTL. This is the machine we are using, right? Ubuntu LTS. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to say vim kind.sh, and I'm going to press I for insert. Shift insert is gonna paste that particular script, and it has Helm, kubectl, everything is there. So I'm going to simply run this script, right? So let's do that. So what it does, it is going to install Docker, Helm, kubectl, latest version of Kind, and it is going to deploy multi-node cluster, 3 worker nodes with the master node. Right, then guys, what we're going to do simply, we are going to follow these steps to set up our highly available MongoDB cluster in Bitnami. So I've added all the commands. We are going to use the Bitnami Helm charts, right? So let's do that. Okay, so okay, I'm going to show you. This is the latest version, guys. So what we are going to do, we are going to first of all add the repo locally in that particular guy. So let it run. It is creating our cluster, and then I'm going to show you with the CLI. Although in past I've shown you command with regard to the how you can bring your cluster locally in Lens as well. So even though it is EC2 machine, you can bring that particular cluster in locally in your Lens machine. Also, if it is, if you're running in VMware, you can also bring that in Lens as well. So, okay, let me try to show you those settings as well. So we have this, mongo.pem. So guys, what I'm going to do, okay, let me try to CD into desktop and let me try to connect with this machine. So Mongo dot pem, right, and Ubuntu and Ubuntu, right, and I'm going to pick the IP address of this particular machine. So I'm going to choose the public IP, right? So I will try to connect, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to port forward, or you say SSH tunnel we will be using 8443 colon 0.0.0.0 and 0, and and it is 1 2 3 4, and it should be 8443 now. Okay, seems to be okay. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open this guy and I'm going to navigate to this area, kubectl, get nodes. Our cluster is ready, 3 worker nodes and master node. I'm going to get the contents of config or context this way, and I'm going to bring this guy locally into my lens because we have already enabled the port forwarding. Let's try to do that. I've done a little bit more copy. Okay, okay, okay. Let's try to do in this fashion. Okay, yeah, that's good. So click this guy. Already I have a cluster. I'm going to okay, add a cluster from here. Add a cluster, press Control V. Let's try to add it. And you see we have added, and we have a connectivity to that particular machine, right? So, okay, might be this cluster. Let me show you. Okay, because we are unable to do SSH, and let me do that. So, Ubuntu. Okay, and let's see. I need to double check my IP address. Okay, let's try to connect now. Okay, I should be able to connect. Okay, which means I need to check my IP address. Yeah, if it is changed, navigate to the security group. Might be I'm not using, yeah, oh sorry. I need to add this particular SSH to my IP, right? Let's do that. That's why we have connectivity issues. And Once done, it's gonna ask for connectivity, right? You see, and let's try to connect with this particular guy, right? So you see now we are connected and we are able to see our stuff here, guys. So now, guys, what we're going to do simply, I'm going to navigate to this section. My cluster is ready. I need to show you all the commands. So we are going to use the Bitnami repo here locally in this machine, and this is the latest version. I mean, sorry, these are the different repos. So we are currently interested in MongoDB versions. So I'm going to simply copy this guy and I'm going to paste it here, right? And let me do the pasting. So it brings all the version of MongoDB, and the currently latest version which we are using in this demo is 3.13.18.1, right? You see, this is the version which we are going to use, right? So guys, what we are going to do, let me copy this command, and this is the latest version we are going to do, we are going to deploy, right? And I'm going to also update this particular command. So let me do that because I always make sure that we should use the, excuse me, this is the screenshot of I already added. So I'm going to simply add the version as well to make sure we should be using the absolutely perfect version which we need. So if I do the dash version, so this is the version, guys. I'm going to do feed into this guy, MongoDB, right? So git status, okay, git add and git commit -m MongoDB HA version added git push. So we are in this container, guys. So anyway, if I navigate to this section here, select the MongoDB. You see, it is installed that particular Mongo for us. We have three nodes, worker nodes. So one is actually attached, to this area. And if I navigate to this Helm release section, you see this release has been installed, right? So this is the version we have deployed. And if I navigate to this area, you see this command is going to be updated to this version. Simply just wanna double check if it is working fine. So simply copy this particular guy and paste it here. So guys, that is the video. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, and I seen an issue here in the copy paste. So let me just double check it. And your contribution really helps. If you like the video, share and subscribe the channel. This would definitely helps me. So you see, this is the second version deployed a few seconds ago. If I navigate to the storage area, persistent volume, you see this is the persistent volume we are using here, and these are the pods. This is how, guys, you can set up the highly available MongoDB. I've shown you all the three ways and show you the understanding. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.